Hello, my name's John. This is a conversion video and you're watching Wargames Models and Other Hobbies. Hello and welcome to this conversion video. Today I'm going to be updating an update of an old model. In 2016 the Imperial Space Marine was released as a update of the original first Space Marine. Now I do really love this model, and as the rules have been released on the Warhammer Legends for 10th edition, I'll leave a link in the description for where you can find those and download them for free. I thought it'd be nice to update this model to a slightly larger scale. Just so you can see what I mean about that, here is this updated model, and here is a Primaris Space Marine, and as with the old Space Marines compared to the new Primaris, there is quite a height difference. What I want to do is convert the Imperial Space Marine so it matches the same size as a Primaris Marine. So to do this, what I'm going to need is an Imperial Space Marine 2016 kit. I also have some Space Marine infiltrators that I'm going to use some of the parts to create the updated model. So to start with, let's open up this box and have a look at what's inside. So we have here the sprue with the model on, as well as the base, and our instructions and rules for the older edition of Warhammer 40,000. Not going to need these. What I'm looking to do is try and use the arms, accessories, shoulder pads and backpack of this original model and add it to a newer body. Now the reason why I'm using the infiltrators, looking at the style of this model with the kind of the knee pads and what almost looks like separate boots and things like that, I feel it matches the infiltrators armour style. So first things first, I'm going to select one of the bodies off the infiltrators and put that together. Okay, so there we have the body put together. Now what I'm hoping, I haven't actually checked this, but it is the case for a lot of the old Space Marines to the new Primaris, that the body size is actually very similar. So I'm going to get the main weapon and arms from the Imperial Space Marine, put them together and check to see that they fit on this new body. So that's the next step. Okay, so the first thing that I've noticed with this gun is that it actually sits quite nicely on the body, except for the little skull and crossbones on the front of the chest plate does get in the way. So what I'm going to do is just gently take that off so I can fit the gun in place. So I think that's going to work. What I'm going to do is just put a little bit of plastic glue on it, so as it melts the plastic it's not going to cause too much damage if I have to take it off, but it will pin it in place, and if I do like it I can just leave it as is. Okay, so what you'll see is the right arm fits perfectly. The left arm, however, does drop slightly on the shoulder. That's going to get hidden by the shoulder pad, so I'm not too worried about that for now. But straight away, I can see a really nice pose forming. If we have a look at the original updated model, so we've got that size increase, a similar sort of pose, but we'll see how it turns out. I was thinking of changing the kneecaps over, but I'm going to leave them as is for now. So all I'm going to do through this process is just add all of the details to update this model. So what I'm going to look for, let's have a look. I'm going to apply all of the belt detail now, in case that gets obscured by the backpack or anything like that and becomes difficult to attach. So I'm going to let that glue dry for a little bit before I go on to the next sets of detail. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit now. I've just put the main bits of the body together. There we go. So here we have the current details. So we've got the belt pouches and the pistol on the belt. The main weapon is being held there. I want to put the shoulder pads on next. I'm going to use the shoulder pads from the Imperial Space Marine. I'm going to use the one with the studs on and the completely plain one. So I'll take those off and then attach them. So there you'll see we've got the shoulder pads on. You'll have noticed that I had to re-glue that belt pouch because it popped off while I was holding it. So always be patient when your glue's dry. I always try and rush into things, so I sometimes have to just wait a little bit longer or re-glue something. So what I want to have a look at now is what the backpack from the Imperial Space Marine will look like on this. So I do like the backpack from the Imperial Space Marine. All the kind of the standard details are there, but it just looks slightly different. Now the tricky thing, we have a square peg and a round hole, and hopefully does move quite a bit. So what I'm going to have to do is trim off that peg if I want to use that backpack. Alternatively, I'm going to grab one from the Push Fit Intercessor kit, and I'm going to get the Sergeant's one. I think it's the Sergeant's one, but it actually has a purity seal on it, which I think will work quite nicely for this model. But we'll have a look first. Because it's the Push Fit, it has the stalk on it that I'm going to have to trim off. But looking at these, I think it's going to work better than this one. So whatever happens, I'm going to have to trim the peg off and the stalk. So I'll start with the peg, because that's a nice easy trim. And I'm going to get some blue tack to stick it together to see what it looks like. So one thing I always recommend when doing conversions is have some blue tack handy, because then you can stick something on with the blue tack to have a look what it looks like without it being a permanent fixture. So this is the backpack that comes with the Imperial Space Marine. Okay. And let's have a look at the intercessor one. I know that the stalk's still on it, so it's not going to sit quite right. So let's trim the stalk off and put it in place. I'm not sure on this one actually. No, I think I'm going to go with the intercessor one for now. So I'm now at the stage to choose a head. That is the original one from the Imperial Space Marine, but I think the scale lets it down slightly for this. So what I'm going to have a look at is some of the heads from the Intercessor Space Marine sprue. And there we go. I've chosen the one that I think is going to work, and that is the one with the scars across one of the eyes. So there we go. An updated conversion of an updated model. So there is the update, and here is my Primaris scale version. Now I'll leave some stills at the end of the video so you can take a bit of a closer look. Hope you've enjoyed this conversion video. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see how I paint this up, drop a comment and I'll do a video covering that process. But for now, my name's John and you've been watching War Games Models and Other Hobbies.